Today's title is, Am I the a-hole for writing something in my journal to expose that my wife was reading it? I am 29 years old male and my wife is 28 female. She is 5 months pregnant. I have a journal that I write in occasionally. My wife knows I have one and I have told her it's private. I don't have any big secrets, but it's a private space for me to write out some thoughts and give me time to think. A week ago, I started to suspect that my wife was reading my journal. I had written that it would be nice to see a friend again because we hadn't seen each other in over 2 years. The next day my wife asked me about how that friend was doing and if we were planning on meeting up any time. I found that a bit coincidental, then I started thinking back on some other coincidences, such as my wife getting me something relatively obscure for my birthday that I had written about. I wanted to be absolutely sure, so last night I wrote a fake thought that my wife was gaining too much weight in pregnancy and becoming unattractive. She's not, she's fit and fine. That sounds harsh, but I wanted to write something that 100% was fake and I never had said or implied, or something my wife would just ignore. Well, today I went out to get groceries and came home to my wife crying. I asked her why and she said she can't believe I thought she was overweight and unattractive. I asked her where she heard that and she threw my journal at me. I asked her why she was reading my journal that she knew was private. She said that's not the point, the problem is what I wrote. I told her the whole point was for me to catch her reading it and now I know she does. She called me in a hole and said I need to apologize. By this time I was pretty mad, so I said I will never apologize for anything I wrote in my journal and she needs to realize that she is the only one who did something wrong, otherwise we have bigger problems in our relationship. She wanted me to leave the house but I refused, so she is staying at her sister's now. I am committed to holding my line and not compromising, but I am still angry, so am I the a-hole? Edit. There are a ton of comments misconstruing what I meant and why I wrote it, so I want to clarify. 1. I do not find my wife fat or unattractive. 2. I did not write that in my journal just to insult her. 3. I did not know that she was going to read my journal. I had suspicions and the point of writing it was to see if she was reading my journal or not. The first comment is not the a-hole. She violated your personal space on more than one occasion. It was a little gnarly to write what you did in order to expose her. You could have written something else, but I'm on your side here. The second comment is ignore everybody in these comments trying to put the blame on you, OP. This situation would have never happened if your wife didn't repeatedly violate your trust. There's at least 3 instances you know of where she betrayed your trust. She would have never seen your fake journal entry if she hadn't violated your privacy. I'm all for being the bigger person if it means keeping the peace, but she has shown zero remorse for her actions. Then she has the audacity to want you to apologize for her mistake. I'd die on that hill. Edit, not the a-hole. For everybody pointing out that I never said it explicitly. The third comment is not the a-hole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But your wife is definitely going to take this more personally than you probably intended. Hindsight is 20/20. You should probably apologize for specifically making it about her weight, but that also doesn't rule out a conversation about why she shouldn't have been reading your journal in the first place. The fourth comment is as someone who is pregnant, if my husband had a journal and asked me not to read it, the very least I could do is respect that, regardless of how curious I am about his thoughts and feelings. The journal is a private, safe place to express thoughts and feelings that otherwise would stay bottled inside. I feel bad that Op's wife didn't respect that. OP didn't ruin their marriage, she did when she broke his trust, violated his privacy and ignored his boundaries. If OP chooses to, therapy for both parties, both couples and individual, may be beneficial. This relationship isn't dead but definitely needs help. The fifth comment is not the a-hole. I don't understand the yes, you are the a-hole comments. Spouse or not, you are entitled to having your private thoughts. For some people, it's the same as therapy. Unless invited to a therapy session, no one under any circumstances should feel entitled to your personal thoughts. Did none of you have a sibling or diary growing up? Yeah, he tricked her and wrote something he shouldn't have because he knew she was reading it. That's beside the point, though. She shouldn't have looked and he told her it was private. Pregnancy doesn't give her an excuse.